the wake up show. We kick a little something for the radio. I'm fooling with my niggas on the wake up show. We kick a little something for the radio.
Check it, bust it, tune it up. It's the corrupt novelist, Nas involved in this liveness. Radio wave slaves thrive inside of this wake up show flow. Hip hop's alarm clock, the bomb spot. Mellow with ganja that makes my eyes turn yellow. See reclined on my leather sofa. However close to 9 p.m. Joe quits. Kid check, I could just see him on the 1 and 2 son. My blunt and true on the run 92.3. Number one in the slum representing DJs and sways the hoes. He plays the most. What a collaboration. See, I'm comatose, no pork, just knowledge, and I'm born once more. It's the beat that blesses the street deep in the 9-4. Hip hop's last prophet henceforth in existence. The 92.3 megahertz will exert radio waves. It slays for a phenomenal distance. Electrons to fear the slice of jeeps so you can hear some slum literature. Consider it will numb your eardrum, kid. You're sleeping like a latter day saint, but swaying King Tech will wake you up on Saturday. 9 to 12 verbal junkies overdosing Joe Quicks to get you fixed to the mix, and then them ghosts win. In your sleep I slap you with the doses of medicine. So wake up with organizing the brethren. King Tech Joe Quicks better than your last fix. Severing whackness with sway the host dose of fat mix.
What's up, my people, my people, my people? That music just kind of gets me kind of grooving. What's up, JT? We got everybody here. Marlon, T, JT, Dave, Surfa, Latanya, Angie. Oh, my God. Zach. Oh, who did I miss? Man, you guys. Karen, Justin. Oh, man, my people, my people. It's a good day. It's a good day to make something big happen. It's a good day to get paid. It's a good day to move yourself down that road to $1 million a little further. I'm Daron Campbell. This is the road to $1 million, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your real estate mentor, and we're here to have fun. We're here to get some knowledge. We're here to grow. We're here to get better. We're here to get paid. So what are you doing to move yourself further down that road to $1 million? Or is your road leading you to 10 million? What is it you're doing? We're here to get better habits, get better practices, get sharper with our tools, and then get more intelligent about how we proceed in life and in business and in health and in happiness. And the thing is this: there are people who work hard, and there are people who work smart, and there are people who continue to grow their efficiencies. And so what I want you to really start paying attention to is how efficiently am I moving down the road to $1 million? We talked yesterday about leverage. Leverage is my favorite word because it takes fewer efforts to move bigger things if you have proper leverage. It takes fewer activities to grow greater wealth with leverage, right? And so I want to talk about today, I want to talk about the things that help lever you, that are right in front of your face that sometimes you don't see. Things that are right in front of your face that would enhance your volume, enhance your sales, enhance your closings, enhance your time management over things that pay you back. So if I can do 2 or 3 intelligent, efficient things that increase my sales, then I should be putting more effort into those types of things than the mundane. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? Does it make sense for me? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a second. Does it make a lot of sense for me, Daron Campbell, if I've decided, we did the math on our hourly wage, etc. Does it make sense for me if we figured out yesterday that if you're gonna make $1 million and you're working 50 hours a week, you make $7 a minute. I think that was what we came up with, just under $7 a minute. Okay, so what's up, Tam? If you make $7 a minute because you work 50 hours a week and you work 50 weeks a year to make $1 million, then you make $7 a minute. Does it make sense for you to spend 30 minutes during your revenue producing hours? I think we figured that was 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, or 50 hours, what have you. How you spend your 10 hours is absolutely critical. And I think it was $7 a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marlon and Angie, my mathematicians. If I don't properly spend my 10 hours, or if I don't properly spend my minute, then $7 goes out the window, and that's $7 less than I have the ability to make. So your actions, you need to move through time and space very efficiently during those revenue producing hours, ladies and gentlemen. So if I decide that my revenue producing activity should happen between 8 a.m. and call it 6 p.m., that's 10 hours, then is my time best spent, one, looking up phone numbers? Is my time best spent responding to people on social media? Is my time best spent looking around and seeing what everybody else is doing? Or is my time best spent being as focused as I can and leveraging myself as much as I can to get as much out of a minute as a human can get out of a minute? So like, for instance, I'll give you an example from me. For my taste and my decision, I have decided, hey, Peaches, AKA Tanya, I've decided that my time has the highest and best use of my time is not in sitting at an open house in most cases. That very same time for me, Daron Campbell, is better spent trying to speak to that entire neighborhood rather than sitting in a static place and waiting for people to come to me. That's just me. This is me making a business decision about myself. I have decided that I am going to farm out all open houses to anxious, ambitious, money-hungry agents who want to enhance their book of business, who want to grow their resume, not their resume, want to grow their Rolodex. So I'm going to put agents in my open houses because that same period of time, 1 to 4 or 2 to 5 or what have you, for me is better spent using some mechanisms that I have to spend that same period of time to touch 300 or 400 or 500 other potential sellers and buyers. Hopefully more sellers than buyers for me. So think about this. So every time you make a decision on how to spend your minute, you have traded that for something else. So today, you're going to spend 8 or 9 or 10 hours doing some things. What I want you to really think about is, what am I trading for that thing? So for instance, you're here with me for 27 minutes every morning. You are trading something in for the 27 minutes with me. So the 27 minutes with me better damn sure be worth it to you, because every minute is costing you $7. Think about that. So when you matriculate through your day-to-day, I want you, when you think about what you're doing today, think every minute is costing $7. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Every minute is worth $7. If I'm properly using it, if I'm going to make $1 million, $7. So if I go to lunch and I take 90 minutes at lunch rather than 30 minutes at lunch, you got to make a decision. You got to ask yourself, was it worth it? Is it worth it? Now, let me give you an example of how you should evaluate that kind of decision. I did 2 lunches recently. One lunch I did. Don't call me in the middle of church, people. Okay, one lunch I went to with a colleague of mine who, during which we spoke about very little business, we talked about the good old days, and we chopped it up and had a good time, talked about some fun stuff. And that guy has no interest in joining EXP, which is why I have lunch with agents. And that guy, I have no business with him. So technically, neither of us during that hour made any money per se. Okay, that's one lunch that I had. I decided that lunch could not go more than an hour because I did not want to spend more than $420 having lunch with him. That's because that's what it costs. $7, 60 minutes, $420. Did I get that math right? Yeah, I got an A in math. So think about it. So that lunch cost me $420. Boom, check that box. Then I had lunch. I think I told you guys about it. I had lunch with a guy that's worth $900 million. Okay, now this guy, he doesn't move super duper fast, and if he chooses to talk to me, I choose to stay and listen. Well, that lunch took almost 2 hours. So the value or the cost of that lunch was 2 hours, 120 minutes, $840 for that lunch. Okay, so I had a $420 lunch with a guy with whom I'm doing no business and have no prospect for doing business. And then I had a lunch with a guy worth $900 million who wanted to talk to me about what he plans to do over the next 2 or 3 or 4 years and how I might be able to get involved and how I might be able to help him and how he's got a thing coming in that's going to be $8 million and maybe I can help him with that, and about how he's buying this publication and how I might advertise in that and how he might give me full reign of exposing my business and EXP and all that in this publication, and 3 or 4 or 5 more topics, all of which, every one of which had a dollar to Daron Campbell implication, a future income producing thing to Daron Campbell implication. I could do the baby math and said if 2 or 3 of those things we talked about came through, Daron Campbell would make $200,000 to $300,000 to $400,000. Okay, now let's do the math and the ratio and the decision-making process about which lunch made the most sense and where the opportunity cost was for each lunch. Lunch number 1, no business prospect, $420 of my time spent, and all I got out of it was a good conversation and a salad, right? I think I actually paid for 2 salads. Then, so $420, let's call the whole value of that lunch $500. That lunch cost me $500. Now, lunch number 2. That lunch was at a slightly more expensive restaurant, probably cost me $150, and the value of the time was $840. So that was basically $1,000 lunch because of time and the check, right? $1,000. You might say to me, man, don't go on those $1,000 lunches. The $420 lunch made the most sense. But did it? Was the use of my $840, my $1,000 worth of lunch plus time far, far, far more valuable than $840? Think about it. Was it far more valuable than $1,000? Think about it. If I do one transaction with that guy, is my paycheck more than $150,000, $200,000, $300,000? Yes, that's the lunch you want to go on. This is the lunch you want to limit. Ladies and gentlemen, that is called properly evaluating your time and the opportunity cost of spending it in a place, of spending it with a person, of spending it on a social media platform, of spending it at the water cooler, of spending it gossiping with motherfuckers that don't have anything to say. Sorry about my language, sorry. Of wasting a minute, of wasting an hour, of wasting valuable time. Somebody, man, oh man, I tell you, somebody wanted me to meet them at some place where they wanted to, I don't know, they wanted to talk about how to, what was it? Something I thought about. I was thinking about it yesterday. It's like, wait a minute, that is a massive waste of my time. I can't do it. What I'm trying to get at is, ladies and gentlemen, you have to decide what is the opportunity cost. And if you really want to know what it is, plug in the real cost in time based on your hourly wage, what it's really costing you to do. And then decide, is the benefit of that thing worth the time you are going to spend? That breakfast with that person, that lunch break you're gonna take, that nap you're gonna take, those days you're gonna take off, those activities you're gonna do. I talked to somebody the other day in the middle of the day during the revenue producing hours, and they were gonna stop and clean their house for an hour, hour and a half, because there's some stuff, some laundry and some other stuff that had been undone from the weekend or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, that same person is talking to me about, oh man, I'm not making the 200 to 300 grand like I'm supposed to. I know I'm worth 300 grand. I know it. And then in the middle of the day, they're like, well, I can't talk to you because I got to clean up from the weekend. And I got to listen. Nobody likes a clean house better than me. But that clean house just cost that person 2 hours worth of time. And we just decided 2 hours, if you're on the road to $1 million, 2 hours costs $840. That person blew $840 sweeping the floor, taking out the trash, and doing the laundry during revenue producing hours. And that was an expensive cleanup job. Should she have as a result. Spent, my housekeeper is like $100, $110 for the day. Clean the whole damn house, top to bottom. Should I spend $840 worth of my time cleaning the house, or should I pay Hanya 110 bucks? I pay Hanya 110 bucks. She cleans the house because it's not worth my 2 hours, because I make more than Hanya, decidedly more than Hanya. That 2 hours costs me $840. That 2 hours, that agent I just told you about, costs her $840, but she can't figure out why she doesn't make $250,000 a year. The math is simple, ladies and gentlemen. This is a perfectly measurable game we're playing. If you decide how much you want to make, then you can easily decide how much you want to make per hour. Then you can easily decide what your time is worth. Then you can easily decide what's the opportunity cost of me whacking off and wasting 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours a day. Think about it. Quantify it with money. Quantify it with money. What is it really costing you? Serpa, you said something about driving to work. Well, the fact of the matter is, sometimes it's not worth it to drive to work. You got to decide whether or not that commute makes sense. Well, you got to decide. I have made some critical decisions on certain days, because to get from my house to my Beverly Hills office sometimes will take over an hour to get there. And I have to think, if I don't have someone or something happening in that location that justifies the drive, then I shouldn't make the drive. If I don't have 2 or 3 or 4 conversations I can have on the phone that move my costs forward during that drive to make that drive make sense from a time standpoint, then maybe that drive isn't worth it. A couple of times I thought to myself, you know what? Traffic is bad. I don't want to have to think about it. I'm going to Uber to that office, and I'm going to make these 18 phone calls, or start making these 18 phone calls that I need to make while I have someone else, while I'm having someone else do the driving. That Uber ride for $18 was far more valuable than the, what did we say, $420 it would take while I'm driving and not being able to concentrate on making money. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to decide what the opportunity cost is for you doing everything that you do. And if you don't know what the cost is, then you're flying blind. Once again, no roadmap. You want to make $1 million, you need to dissect that $1 million and figure out what it takes to make that $1 million and what activities lead you to that $1 million. Now, I'm going to dip real fast into something. Nah, I'm going to save it till tomorrow because it's a big principle. But somebody remind me tomorrow about that 80-20. Ask me about the 80-20. Let me write that down. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the 80-20 and the principle that really will drive how you make $1 million so much faster, so much more leveraged, and so much more efficiently than the way you think you're supposed to make that $1 million. I'm going to show you the levered up way to get to that $1 million twice as fast, maybe 3 times as fast as you otherwise would have doing the activities you think you're supposed to be doing, but really you could be doing them better. I just told you about your money. I just told you about your hourly. I just told you about how to evaluate and how to decide what to do during the course of your day. Tomorrow I'm going to help you lever up. Now let's talk about this. I want you to also think about that challenge I put out there for all my EXP people. We're going to talk about that revenue share. We want to talk about that leverage income, that passive income stream. You know, I put the challenge out there every day. Everybody ask 2. Everybody call 2. Everybody reach out to 2. It's a challenge. 2 people every day. I want you to talk to them about our unique passive income opportunity. Those of you who are not with EXP, you need to ask me about it, because what we're doing on this road to $1 million is trying to get to the point where we have a road to a passive $1 million. Now, how about that? You want to talk about time, money, and hourly wages? What would happen if you were making $1 million, whether you showed up for work or not? Oh boy, you want to talk about powerful? You want to talk about freedom? What if you had $1 million being deposited annually, whether you woke up and sold something or not? That's powerful. That's what we're talking about. That's what the challenge is all about. I'm trying to help everybody grow their enterprises. I'm trying to help everybody who's part of this fantastic levered revenue share opportunity called EXP do. We're trying to help you get there. So if every day you talk to 2 people about this golden opportunity, look, 2 people, easy to do. That's why we're doing it. Just 2. We're going to eat this elephant 1 bite at a time. Just talk to 2 people about the great opportunity that you have and you want to share with. with them. And you know what? Don't be deterred by the people that are like, nah. I talked to 2 people day before yesterday. They both said, nah, I'm good. I'm like, okay, cool. Congratulations. I'll talk to you soon. I talked to 2 people yesterday. One said, hey, bro, in a week I'm there. And the other one said, you know what? Get back at me Monday or Tuesday. Let me figure out if I can make a move sooner rather than later. You just never know what you're going to get. Don't be afraid by the turn downs. Don't be afraid by the no's. Don't be afraid by the people like, I already know about that. Don't be afraid about that. Because listen, this is about getting free. This is about becoming free. This is about getting passive income. And you know what? If people don't see it, then that's their problem. They won't ever be able to say, nobody told me about it. Okay? Because we know something, when we see something that we know works, it's our obligation. Listen, you know what I always say. Once you've achieved success, it is not complete. It then becomes your obligation to inform someone else or help someone else who might not have otherwise had the chance. That means we are out there spreading the word about what we think will create financial freedom in very short order, and we have a very small window in which to do it. So that's why everybody is going to talk to 2 people every day. Share this, spread the word, tell them about our challenge. The prize is a gift card from Daron Campbell to the person who recruits the most people over this 30-day period of time. We're going to compare notes once a week, but everybody reach out and talk to 2 people. Even those of you who are not yet, even those of you who are not with EXP but are planning to come, start making your list and thinking about the 2 people a day you're going to ask, and we'll help you out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Daron Campbell. I'm your real estate mentor. Are we having fun? This is fun stuff. I'm trying to give you some practical tools, some levered tools, some efficient tools to make you better, make you stronger, make you wealthier. Let's get to financial freedom together. Let's take the road to $1 million together. Let's arrive together. I don't want to be on the top by myself. I don't want to be at the top looking down at you from the top. I want to see you at the top, not from the top. I'm Daron Campbell. I'm your real estate mentor. Let's kick some butt. I'll see you at the top.
Baby doors frontin', so Saturday nights open. Hopping on the 101, time scoping 92.3 degrees, choking on chocolate. FM dial smoking, Prince Poe blows up from LA to Hoboken, and I'm out. Yo, it's the wake up show. My genetic makeup take up 130 pounds of beat. But lyrics shake up like January 17th, crossovers extinct. Them seeds is fossil. Protect your neck and wear a bulletproof vest on your tonsils. Amateurs bandage your cornea, cause you don't wanna see California. See arsenic spitting arsenic with Sway Tech and Joe Quicks on the mix. Spinal meningitis ain't as stiff as the rip of brass, cast out slash like racist crackers with whips. Come equipped, you're losing your paraphernalia. I'm a hip hop apostle, singing the gospel like Mahalia Jackson. Each Saturday, 9 until the break of dawn. Put cocaine on my tongue, you got crack. Now rock on, rock on, rock on, rock on.
One last thing, Serpa just reminded me. We're going to Beverly Hills on the 28th, everybody. Everybody's coming. Everybody who's interested, coming to Beverly Hills on the 28th. I'll be speaking. Dave Serpa will be speaking. We'll be telling you how to grow your income, how to expand yourself. Dave Serpa's putting together the party bus coming all the way from Temecula. Everybody else who wants to come and join, it's going to be a kick butt day on Tuesday the 28th. Get at me. Get at Serpa. Ask about it if you're interested. We'll get you there. Everybody, back to your great day. Peace. I'll see you at the top and in Beverly Hills. Peace.
I'm cooling with my niggas on the wake up show. We kick a little something for the radio. I'm cooling with my niggas on the wake up show. We kick a little something for the radio.
Saturday night, get live, set it off right, swing with my peeps, King Tech. You'll pass the mic and turn the up tier. You hear the speaker blows, red sky, it's 9 o'clock. Time for the wake up show. To the breaker, you think I'm a say, doing what I say. Take cousin mom, switch sway, my word is on the scene. Blotting out the mainstream, doing it right with your waist on the mix. Late in the night, so soon in, cause you don't sleep. Moving in your Jeep, 92.3.
It's 9 o'clock p.m. 92.3. The beat begins to rock hip hop non-stop. You know we got the props in LA on Saturdays. Check the sway.
Set your clocks for the unorthodox hip hop that drops 9 to midnight. King Tech get sway. Yo, those kids is tight in the mix with Joe Quicks. The verbs spits verses with the purpose of dropping curses like a 666. Fat snares and dirty kicks to get you open. From Watts to Oakland, it's that broadish best thought provoking. Spoken, words precise like a laser. Crossroads and the wake up show will get your party shaking like a pager. On silent mode, yeah. 9 to 12 Saturday nights, fool. Keep the episode. Wake up, show and you can tell I'm not spitting it in no muffled style, no silent screams, just wedding rings.